So, I've posted the video recently that some of you have seen about kind of where I want this channel to go. This is one of the things that, as somebody who's been fascinated in weather for a long time and lived in the South and lived in multiple different places in the South, I've gotten to see kind of both sides of. I've gotten to see the no snow winters. I've gotten to see the lots of snow winters, and I've gotten to see just about everything in between. This has been one of the weird ones. Um, I don't know if I posted the video, but I mentioned in a video that I recorded that snow has been dodging us where I live, left, right, up, down, all over, all year. The last time it snowed was mid-November. One random day, not even enough to cover the grass. I had a covering on my car somehow. Just middle of the day, snowed hard enough to where I could barely see driving. And then, just like that, it was gone. And ever since then, it's not even been particularly cold either. It's just kind of been a weird winter where it's been like cold, but not like teens, single digits cold. It's been like 20 degrees at the lowest. At nights, maybe lower, but it's been just a really weird winter for us. And so, when I filmed the video last week, at the time, oh, sorry, a little bit of reflux there, but at the time they were forecasting a snowstorm that somehow went south of us. Now, I live in the South. I live in an area that theoretically should get a ton of snow, and I don't think I've really had a year that's had a ton of snow. But we're like near the Southern Appalachians south, and it was gonna go south of us, and it happened, and we didn't get hit. I'm like, at this point, it's been 2 months since we've seen snow. I don't think I've ever seen snow in mid-November. Typically, when I see snow is like late December, early January. The typical snow seeing season for the South. And after that happened, I kind of just gave up on the snow because, at this point, it's middle of January. Weird stuff can happen. It's the South. I know this. But at the same time, it's like, if it's going to snow, it's going to be like a few flurries. Maybe it goes hard for like 20 minutes, and then it melts in 5 minutes. And if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't, kind of thing. And then that happened, and then the forecast for this week came out. Now, when I looked at it this week, like last weekend, it was kind of interesting because they weren't really predicting anything for us. I think it was supposed to go north of us, which is about how most snowstorms go. And I was like, oh, well, pretty standard snowstorm. And then just as the week has gone on, it keeps trending south, which I'm excited about, but also worried about the implications for other people in cities in the South. Because the latest outlooks are saying that this is not only going to be a large snowstorm that is going to have some heavy impacts, it's going to be super widespread. Everywhere from like New Mexico and Texas all the way to like where I live in the Smoky Mountains to the Northeast, like New England area. Super widespread. And so, I'm learning all the models, learning what to look at in the models. And I looked at the model a few minutes ago at the time of recording this, and it's like really centered on where I live. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because as a person who has lived in the South their entire life, I know how we react. The stereotypes are 100% accurate. That being said, I'm lucky to live in an area of the South that I wouldn't say expects large amounts of snow, but we're not unprepared for it. Um, like we know where we live. Um, and so I looked at it kind of yesterday, and on AccuWeather, and it's projecting it for Saturday, for where I live, and it was kind of like, an inch, and I'm like, yeah, that's about what I expected. And then I kind of looked at it last night, and it was up to 2 inches. And then I checked it at, for Saturday night, and it was like, about 2/10 of an inch. And I'm like, well, you know, I'd be happy with 2 inches of snow. It's the most we've gotten so far. Bears cannot be choosers in this. And then I checked the models this morning and looked at AccuWeather. They're predicting we're gonna get like 5 inches of snow, and we're still. This is Tuesday at the time of recording this. We're still like 4 days out. So the models keep trending south. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. At some point, they'll stop trending south and really hone in on an area. If they hone in on where they're kind of honing in right now, we could get hammered. That brings me to my other point of it's not just us getting hammered. This is a lot of places, and a lot of places that don't normally see a ton of snow. I'm not saying they don't ever see snow, but you know who you are and where you live, and if you see a ton of snow, and not naming any places, but Texas, you places don't do well with snow. So, I'll post more videos kind of as this goes up. I recommend anybody that sees this, follow Ryan Hall on YouTube. The channel's called Ryan Hall, y'all. Follow Max Velocity on YouTube. I don't know if he's been doing as many videos as Ryan does on the winter weather, but he's a super good one, especially when tornado season starts coming back up. Those two will be super active, as will I, at least hoping to be super active in keeping people informed during those seasons. But yeah, I'm really excited and worried about it. I don't want to freak anyone out. It's still 4 days out. The models are uncertain, to say the least. I mean, it's like this with all storms, right? 4 days out is super far out. I mean, even the first day of the event's Friday. That's still 3 days out. Let me put it this way. There's something that's going to be there. Do we know exactly how much? No. Do we know, specific places that are going to hit the hardest? No. I'm not saying that. I am simply projecting what the models are looking like, what I am seeing on the models. And hey, stuff can change in 3 or 4 days. If you ever get into the weather hobby, especially during peak storm season, March, April, May, look at the National Weather Service, especially the Storm Prediction Center, the SPC. Just look at the SPC outlook, and they'll have day 1, day 2, day 3, and then day 4 through 8 outlooks. Look at it every day, and they update it at different times in the day. So they'll have a morning update to reset the day, but they'll also have midday updates, and it'll be kind of frequent. Normally they'll have one around noon UTC, which is Universal Coordinated Time, which Eastern Time, I believe, Eastern Daylight Time is, I think, 4 hours ahead, or 4 or 5 hours ahead, something like that. Anyways, look at those during those seasons and see how much they change. Even look at the day 4 through 8 outlooks. You'll pretty much never see anything on the day 8 outlook, but it's there because stuff has been seen before. So, stuff can change through an outlook. They don't do specific zones, or they don't do specific risks for areas, getting into the real nitty gritty risks, until day 2 or day 3, because the models are so inaccurate. So when talking about storms 3 or 4 days out, it's important to highlight that there's something that's going to happen there, but it's to be taken with a grain of salt, considering it's still so far out. And so more updates will be coming on this video and on this storm. I'll do my best to keep you guys updated on this. But yeah, as the models look at it right now, it's gonna be more of a southern storm. So if you're up in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, in kind of like the mid to northern regions of them, you shouldn't be hit too hard by this. I'm not saying there won't be effects, but the models aren't projecting that way. But then again, the models are projecting anywhere as south as like the panhandle of Florida to like middle of Indiana. So, again, super far out. We'll keep you guys updated. Thank you for watching this. Again, if you guys want information from somebody a bit more trained than me, I super recommend Ryan Hall on YouTube. He is fantastic at what he does. I'll at least try and put a link to his channel in my description. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I don't know how to do that with my socials yet. We'll figure that out, though. But yeah, thank you for watching.